Now, dating all the way back to the first round of the playoffs, I did not think that the Heat would do anything. I thought they would get swept by the Bucks or maybe lose in 5 and then, be sent off to Cancun. But here we are in the NBA Finals, and the Miami Heat, out of all teams, are representing the Eastern Conference. And while we do all have our bad takes, that's completely fine. What really matters, though, is just admitting when you're wrong about a certain team or a player. And now that school's over and the NBA playoffs are almost finished, I decided to go ahead and finally give my formal apology to the Miami Heat in the form of this video. So yeah, before we do get started, hit that like button if you guys end up enjoying this video, since it really does help out the channel. And then also subscribe if you guys are new and you guys enjoy this type of content, so you don't miss out on any new videos like this. But yeah, without further ado, let's go ahead and get this video started. Alright, first guy we need to talk about, it's of course Jimmy Butler. I mean, who else would it really be? Jimmy Butler in the regular season is no doubt a good player for sure. I mean, the guy can score well, he can pass, he can defend, he can do all three of those things at a really high level. And he puts up good numbers, and again, he's a good player in the regular season, but he is not a superstar at all in the regular season. Like, if you took a look at his numbers or even just watched him play, you could tell that this guy's not like a top 3 player in the league. However, again, he's good. But in the playoffs, this man is an absolute riser. I mean, he takes his game to a whole nother level. I mean, aside from 2021, when the guy took his game to a whole nother level in a bad way. I mean, he averaged like 14 points on like 30% shooting that series. Anyways, but yeah, Jimmy Butler, this man has just gone berserk in the playoffs. I mean, again, I already mentioned the things he does really well, but he's a great leader above all else. And taking a look at the statistical leap he took, he averaged 23, 5, and 6 on 54% shooting in the regular season. So again, solid, but not eye-popping. But in the playoffs, he's been averaging 28.5, 6, 7 on 48, 36, 81 splits. Yeah, quite the rise. And, when we look at the playoffs as a whole, Jimmy Butler's undeniably been like a top 2 to 3 player in the postseason. He's been playing like a superstar. And just, when you look at the Heat, this Miami team on paper, they really should not be playing in the finals right now. But because of the way he's played and because of how good of a leader he is, the Miami Heat are in this position. And with all due respect to the other contributors on this team, I think he's 95% of the reason why. Okay, maybe 95 is a lot. I'd say 90% of the reason why this team is even in this place, in this position in the first place. And yeah, I mean, we've heard it a million times. Jimmy Butler, again, you just got to give him so much respect. And I mean, if he was playing like regular season Jimmy Butler, I don't think the Heat make it past the second round. Again, that's not to say he's a bad player in the regular season. It's just, you'd have to play at this level for the Heat. You'd have to play at a superstar level for the Heat to, make it to the finals. And that's exactly what he's done. So again, Jimmy Butler, I have a lot of respect for you. And I do got to congratulate you for how you've played this playoffs. Now, the second best player on this team is definitely Bam Adebayo. Offensively, he's nothing crazy. He averaged like 20 points per game on 54% shooting, which is good, but he's not going to be the type of guy to, break people's ankles with his handles or, do anything crazy offensively. He's mostly just a guy who can score in the paint. But yeah, Bam Adebayo, the main value that he provides is easily his defense. One of the best defenders in the league. I mean, he can guard bigs, of course, but he can also guard, a lot of players that are smaller than him and faster than him. And he can guard just like multiple positions on the court. So yeah, Bam Adebayo, really good player. In the playoffs, he has also remained pretty good. Good defense, and he's given them 17 points per game on 49.5% shooting. I'll admit, his offensive game, he can be very streaky with it. But that said, he's still one of the best centers in the league, and he's still been a massive part of the Heat's playoff run. Now, outside of those two guys, I do want to talk about some of the role players and the other other guys. Tyler Hero, he's a very weird player. So in the regular season, he averaged 20 points per game on good efficiency and was no doubt a big reason why they made the playoffs. But he's only played one game this whole playoffs as I record this video, because in the first game of that Bucks series, he unfortunately got injured. So it's kind of hard to, I guess, I don't know, evaluate this. I think he does deserve credit for definitely helping the Heat get to the playoffs in the first place, because if they don't make the playoffs at all, like, they don't make this run at all, of course. But, you know, playoff wise, he just hasn't been able to really contribute because he only played one game. So really what I gotta say for Tyler Hero. But that said, he could return to the finals, so maybe he can give them a boost. After that, we got Max Strus and Caleb Martin. Both of these guys have been really good 3-and-D forwards who have been really vital to the team's success, and both of them have amazing stories. Like, Max Strus, he was an undrafted free agent, I believe, and he like bounced around the league until he found his way onto the Heat and developed into a really good role player. And you got Caleb Martin, who I think he also went undrafted. He was with the Hornets with some time, and then like before the 2022 season, he was waived, and he was like good friends with J. Cole, funny enough. I saw this on Instagram, and yeah, J. Cole, he was like friends, I think, with the Heat trainer, and that, yeah, he just called the Heat trainers and like said, hey, give Caleb Martin a shot, and yeah, Caleb Martin signed a 10-day contract, and yeah, the rest is history anyways. But yeah, both of these guys, they've been really good overall. And the same thing, I think, can be said about Kyle Lowry. Like, he's not the same player that he was in Toronto. But that said, he's been pretty decent in the playoffs. And you got Gabe Vincent as the final role player I do want to talk about. He's been averaging like 13 points and 4 assists per game on like 40% shooting from 3. Now, I'll admit, his efficiency like from the field is not very good, but he's shooting 40% from 3, which is something. So yeah, what I gotta say for the role players. And then, of course, Erik Spoelstra, yet again showing his brilliance. So yeah, Erik Spoelstra, he's been the Heat coach for a long time, and honestly, I think he is one of the best coaches of all time, and he's no doubt the best coach in the league right now. Like, you look at the adjustments he's made in the game planning and all that, it's been a big reason why the Heat are here. And as I mentioned before, if you were to just take a look at this Miami squad on paper, they would have zero business being here. But Spo's done like a really good job of coaching this team up, game planning again, like leading this team all the way to the finals and just defying odds, like, you know, no matter who they face. So yeah, really what I gotta say for Erik Spoelstra, you know, about what I said about Jimmy Butler, I think Jimmy Butler and Erik Spoelstra should honestly take that, they both should take that 90% credit, because if both of these guys were not on this team, or if Jimmy Butler were to just remain in his regular season form, this team would not be in the finals right now. So yeah, Erik Spoelstra, extremely good coach. Now, as I record this video, they actually are down 1-0 against my favorite team, the Nuggets, in the finals. And while they definitely looked pretty outmatched that game for the most part, and even though they might end up losing the finals, if you're a Heat fan, you gotta feel good about this year. I mean, so many people heading into the season didn't have like title contender expectations for you guys. I didn't personally. I wasn't really that high on Miami heading into the season. And, you know, in the regular season, it was fine, but really wasn't an amazing one. And then, of course, they lose the first play-in game, win the second one to make the playoffs, but absolutely zero people, and I mean, even a lot of Miami fans didn't think that they'd be winning that series or even making it to the finals. But, you know, they've had a historic season. They're the second 8th seed in NBA history to make the finals after the 1999 Knicks. So, yeah, again, you know, regardless of the series outcome for the finals, it's been a really good season in Miami, and I think they really got to use this year to build off it and just improve, so that way next year they could have a better regular season and potentially win a championship. So again, yeah, good luck to any Heat fans watching this, and one more time, I was wrong about you guys. You guys are an extremely good team, and you guys have had a truly remarkable season. So with all that said, that's going to do it for me. Again, like, subscribe, do all that stuff, and check me out on social media. Links to my Twitter and Instagram are in the description below, but without further ado, I'm at you guys.